Oh, D-Mark's in here too. Okay.
All right.
All right. Y'all, gentlemen, we are here.
Yo.
We are
Yes.
live on this here Google Hangout, which is entitled Male Tendencies, brought to you by the wonderful people at P4CM. This is going to be a very interesting ladies, if you are tuned in live right now, get your questions ready. Shoot them to the chat that you see there, and we'll do our best to get to them and answer them as quickly as possible. Before we introduce everyone, or before we have everyone introduce themselves, I would like to remind you that on March 2nd, P4CM is producing a wonderful, dope event called Glow, Girl, Lady, or Woman. And it's going down in Artesia, California. Like I said, March 2nd. Tickets are live right now. You can pick them up at eventbrite.p4cm.com. Yeah, it's going to be dope. Yvonne Orji will be in the building. You might know her from this TV show called Insecure. She'll be there answering your questions. We'll have live spoken word, music from B Rose. It's going to be a really, really dope event. And from what I understand, the men will be serving that day. So get served by some brothers while you enjoy yourself and some praise and worship. So that is Glow, March 2nd. Tickets are available now. Check out the P4CM Facebook page, website, or wherever else you can find P4CM. All right, y'all. I'm going to start this thing, Male Tendencies, and we're going to have you guys introduce yourselves. So we'll start with Cecil. Go ahead, man.
Yo. So real quick, my name is Cecil. Honored and privileged to be here, part of the P4CM family. I do poetry. I work in the education system for about up to 10 years now. So yeah, that's just me, all around creative.
All right, my man D-Mark.
What's going on, everyone? D-Mark. I am. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, you're a little low, brother. You got this GQ smooth voice going on right now.
D-Mark Thompson. I am. I'm an actor here in Los Angeles. Just got the invite from Adrian, so I'm happy to be back with you all again. And that's pretty much it. I'm excited to see what's going to transpire this evening.
Man, I saw you on a show. You were playing a security guard, and you guys shot it at LA Center Studios. I just can't remember the name of the show.
That was NCIS LA.
There it is. Okay, yes.
Yeah.
I knew I had seen you.
Yeah, they took me out early.
All right, Jamal's here. He's off camera. I was going to clown him for being off camera, but he's off camera for a specific reason, technical issues. But go ahead and introduce yourself, Jamal.
Hello. My name is Jamal. I'm a software engineer based in Seattle. The technical difficulties are definitely on my part. I have done a previous show with you guys that was on camera, on studio. So, you know, you can't clown me too much because I did that one.
The favorite site that night then, right?
It was fresh. But thank you guys for having me, and loving to help and give feedback again.
Word up. And my man Rashad's here also.
What's going on, everybody? Rashad. I go by E5 as well. But me, I'm just an all-around energetic individual. I love speaking in front of people. I would consider myself a motivational speaker. I've done a few engagements, but I just love interacting with people. I love doing skits. So I also do skits as well, funny, clean humor. So that's my MO.
Word up. Okay, and I'm AD. I work with P4CM and have been since 2012. I'm married, father of 3 beautiful daughters, and my wife, Amber, who may or may not be tuning in right now just to make sure I stay on the straight and narrow. I don't know. You may want to check in and make sure I don't say anything crazy.
Right.
Speaking of saying stuff crazy, just so you know, any views that are expressed here on this hangout here today are the views of those who are on the hangout. They are not necessarily the views of P4CM, so don't start sending hate mail to P4CM if somebody says something you don't like. That is just the opinion of that individual. All right. since I set it off like that, I'm gonna go on a little rant real quick, and then we'll get to the questions. All right.
Right.
Here's my little rant. Okay. There's a lot of talk. Well, first of all men are not the same. Okay.
Mhm.
All men. We got to set that stage right there before we go anywhere. All men are not the same. There's a common conception that men are just visual and women are just emotional. And that's not 100% true, because women can be visual too, and men can be emotional as well, meaning we have emotions. We are not stones. We're not brick walls. We have emotions. The other thing is, and then this is going to be the controversial part, the Me Too movement, okay? Now you're like, where's this dude going with the Me Too movement thing? The Me Too movement, right? I think it's really, really lopsided. And I'll tell you why. Okay, it's all about women being mishandled by men, right? And there's a lot of talk about toxic masculinity. But I hear no discussion of toxic femininity. And here's why I'm saying this, okay? You got movies like Girls Trip, okay? You can look on YouTube and see how Michael B. Jordan was treated by those ladies on The View, okay? You can see and hear discussion of how women behave at bachelorette parties and all this other stuff. Nobody's talking about toxic, or even the teachers who molest these young boys, these students, wind up marrying them and having babies. Okay, no discussion of toxic femininity, and that's why I say the Me Too movement is lopsided. I think it's a sin movement. Like, it's just men and women got sin in them, and it displays itself one way or another. It's not necessarily that masculinity is toxic or even femininity is toxic. It's just human beings are toxic. Okay. So anyway, that's my rant. I'm done with that. Let's move on to these questions, y'all. Okay.
All right.
I mean, that was a good rant, bro.
That was a good rant.
That was a good little rant right there,
Bro, I'm saying it's anyway. Don't get me started on that. That's not what this hangout's about. If somebody wants to address that, I will for sure answer questions along those lines. And these gentlemen might want to chime in as well. But there are questions that have already been submitted, so we're gonna jump in on those questions right there.
Let's get it.
All right, you guys ready?
Yep.
All right. Here's first question. Why do guys say they want to get to know you but never want to talk on the phone? Who wants to jump on that one first?
Why do they say guys want to get to know you but never talk on the phone?
Yeah, why does a brother say, hey, I want to get to know you, girl, I like you, but when she wants to talk on the phone, he ain't really trying to have it?
I think
Go for it, guys.
Okay. I think, and I can speak from experience because I'm a person that does not like talking on the phone. And I had to get out of that habit of just texting. I think it just comes from a fear of communication. Like, we don't like communicating how we feel. We rather show you, but some of the times, if we show you, then we probably show you in a very sin-like manner, or it's a manner that's very fleshly in our biased opinion on how we feel or what we have learned from experience. So just for me, for example, I had to get out of the habit of when I wanted to pursue, when I wanted to talk to somebody, I wanted to do it my way. But a lot of times, most women, obviously, they love communication. And I really feel like oftentimes we just run away from communication because we are scared that we may fail at conversation. We don't like having those conversations. We don't like having long conversations. We just want to get to the point. We're very A, B. There is no C. Maybe there's a D, but we're just A and B. Like, we're point to point. Let's get to the point and let's go on about our business. So
Rashad, would you say that's pretty much accurate what Cecil's saying?
Probably his side, but for me personally, I think, and it's for a lot of guys, it could be how they were raised and what they saw growing up. So for me, I was raised by a single mother, who military. So communication was everything. You tell me where you're going. You tell me how long you're going to be there. You tell me, so for me, I think it's a struggle for me to talk on the phone because I feed off of facial expressions. I feed off of body language. I feed off of the environment. people around us. So for me, I'm not comfortable with just, you know how like the movies are where they just laying in bed, yeah, girl, so and they twiddling, I can't do that. Like I would prefer to text, only because that allows me to do other things like around the house, if I'm at work, things like that. But I think for me, my fear of why I don't talk on the phone is I don't want to have that. So what do you want to talk about?
Right. Yeah.
So, and I've done that before in respect of the girl. Like, how come we don't talk on the phone? And when I do, see, girl, this is why I don't talk on the phone.
Right.
So, so I personally don't want to come off as a boring person. And I would rather say, hey, let's meet up in person versus talking on the phone.
You want to get to know her, but you just rather do it face to face rather than over the phone.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Now, DeMark.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: Does not talking on the phone mean I don't want to really know you?
No, but and see, my take on the whole thing is this: I like talking on the phone.
Okay.
I'm a communicator, and I'm the complete opposite from the whole conversation in text. You know, it's too much for me. I want to hear her voice. I want to get to the point to where if I'm walking somewhere and I hear her call my name and my back is to her, I know exactly who it is.
Oh, DeMark.
Right.
Because I talk about this often. It's like we have all these new forms of communication, but we've gotten away from talking. My best friend, who was married to his wife, I think 15 years now.
Wow.
His wife was in medical school in Indiana. He lived in Maryland. They talk on the phone every day. You get to know a person when you talk to them, especially on the phone, because there's only but so much you can say. I mean, you get to the points of getting to know the person. So I'm the opposite.
I agree.
Yeah.
But I think there's also another perspective of sometimes it's being extremely busy. You know, if with technology the way it is, and I think we all have, unconsciously been subject to the new forms of communication, which we text really quickly, short forms of communication. If I'm on the go, it's 7 o'clock and I still have work to do between about 9. Sometimes it can be hard to find that time to just have that long, in-depth conversation. And like one of the guys said, it's better to have that in person anyway, especially in the beginning. I think to get that nonverbal communication and those cues and to pick up on those things will help tremendously. I think, once you're more established, let's say 90 days in, that communication phone call should be present and should be had, especially, once we've kind of gotten to know each other, then thereafter, the first, I guess, stage.
All right.
If you really want to talk to them, I think you're going to make time for them.
Yep.
So it's not, and even though, we have, like Rashad said, there's preference of getting to know somebody in person, you got to make time for that. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that when it comes to communication across the board, if we really want to get to know somebody and really want to talk to that person, that woman, we're going to make time for them.
So what do you guys think about this study? There was a study done that says men, or women, I should say, use about 13,000 more words per day than a man does.
Yes.
Amen.
Absolutely.
Could it be that, by the time we get on the phone, we've used up all the words we got for that day. And we're like struggling to pull up some more. And they see this as, you're not really into me because you're trying to get off the phone. Like, I don't have a lot right now. Could that be a part of it? And like I said, DeMark has a different perspective. Like I said from the beginning, all men are not the same. Right. So there's going to be some variances here and there. But since we're talking about tendencies, male tendencies, do you guys think that might be one of those?
That we don't have a bigger vocabulary, pretty much?
Not vocabulary.
We just talk less.
No, I can use big words.
We just talk, like you said, Cecil, that we just want to get to the point, and then move on. Whereas, like my wife, for example, we'll be talking about the same subject, and she will go, through the forest, Stop at Target real quick. Might hit the park and get on the swing and then come back to the point that we were talking about. It's like, we could have did this 20 minutes ago. But that's just the way her style of communication.
I don't think and I can't speak for all men, but I think for some of us, even me, we haven't had those open doors to communicate how we feel. So, growing up, my family and even the circle of friends that I had, we wasn't very talkative like that as far as, oh, how do you feel or what's going on with you? Right. It's more of, hey, what are we doing? Where are we going? What you want to do? It's stuff on that nature. So I think the more a man is open to communicating their heart or their mind, then it's easy for them to have any conversation and be able to roll with it in any given moment.
Yeah, I think okay. for me, as you guys were talking, I think women put emotion in their conversation, and guys, a lot of us tend to be to the point. So for example, you ask a guy, how was your day? And he's like, oh, it was cool.
Right.
You ask a woman like, oh, how was your day? Let me tell you. Right. You know what I mean? So it's like, y'all can have this, you could do the same thing, go to the same places, have the same outcome, but to the woman, she's thinking about way more than what we are. We're like, go to the store, go to the car, and I'm going home. But the woman, she could be thinking about, while I'm in the store, what am I going to do? What am I going to get? Ooh, I should get this, and then I don't have this. And, so it's a lot more, I think, that goes on in a woman's head. And then that gets translated into the conversation versus some guys, and I've done it too, to where, oh, how was your day? Oh, it was cool. I just went to work. Work wasn't bad. Day was chill, and it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. So look, check this out. For the ladies that are listening, hopefully we're answering the question in a way that you understand. If you don't, hit us up with a follow-up, and we'll try to come back to it. But we want to keep going so we can capture answers to some more of these questions. Next question is, let's not get to that one just yet. That's too much. Let's see. What's the difference between courting and dating?
Ooh.
Courting and dating. I hear a lot of ooh.
Well,
a lot of oohs. If somebody wants to jump in.
I'll jump in.
Okay.
Sheesh.
Courting. Well, let's see. Dating is when you meet someone and you all agree, hey, let's get to know one another. And you spend time with them, you hang out, you do whatever to get to know one another on a personal level. Courting is when you both have the mindset of, I plan to get married.
Yeah.
And it could be the one that you're now, or we're dating. You're like, now we're courting. I'm planning things around marrying you now. So to me, that's the difference.
Somebody got something different on that?
Well, no, I think I maybe not different, but courting definitely has intention behind it, whereas dating is very, freestyle, so to speak. Definitely kind of see where things go versus having that initial intent. Sometimes it can be difficult to have that initial intent, obviously, because you don't know this person. But if there are any type of indicators that this is a good person that I want to really get to know, or I'm at that stage of my life, then yeah, I'm gonna put my best foot forward and communicate that this is courtship. If it's, hey, I was out at the bar, I met some random person, hey, let's meet up for drinks again, let's just go on a casual date. So to me, that's the distinction.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could agree to that. For sure.
I think that's pretty clear. Like, courting has the intent of marriage. Like, basically, at the end of the day, that's what the goal is. Mm-hmm. Two of you guys know each other. You want to be married together. And so this is that in between time. You're not necessarily fiancés yet, but you're about to be there, any day now. So I think it's the intent, basically. Moving on, gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
All right, here's the deep one. And this is we might camp here for a minute, but we'll see. I don't understand why. First of all, why do we want to know this from a subject about male tendencies? But I don't know. We'll see what we can do. The question is, how do you know when you found the one?
Oh man.
Oh.
I'm not going first.
How many of you guys are married?
Baby, you got it.
I am single.
Everybody else is single, I believe. I'm the married one on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it.
All right. Then I'll jump in on this. The way you know you found the one is if you determine I can't live without this person.
Mm-hmm.
That if this person left my life, now obviously you can live without them. That's dramatic. You can live without the person.
Right.
But I'm saying, with the fact that this person is no longer in my life, could you be okay with that? You know what I mean? Like, if this person's like, I'm out, are you good? If you're not good, then you might want to consider do a little bit more investigation. Like, this she might be the one. Maybe we should court.
So I saw the little the pop-up about, I guess, the extra components of the question is if you were single and if you thought you found the person. I think for me, it's kind of realizing that, hey, maybe I'm ready to stop doing or stop dating other people, or stopping or quitting the silly games and really wanting to take this person serious. I think when you see someone who you're aligned with your morals, your future, with your vision, for me, that made me think that I found the right person. It was like, yo, I'm ready to put everything aside and kind of just throw all my chips in with this one person.
Right.
Finding out that the person, she wasn't the one for me. I think it just boils down, for me, it boiled down to the fact that my purpose, she couldn't really help with the purpose that God has called me to do. And for me, I think I fell into the trap of, she's great, she's wonderful, she does this, she does that, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, is she fulfilled in her purpose? And if she doesn't fit, and she's not in that purpose, or she doesn't know what she's called to, then what does that do for me? You know what I'm saying? And so it makes me at the time, it felt like, okay, I was dragging someone through the mud when she didn't really have her own. She didn't really have her own purpose, her own calling, let alone identifying what that calling is, what she's supposed to do. So that was one of those clear cut, like, okay, I get it now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think for me, it's just a matter of two people growing. Everybody grows at different paces and different rates, but I think for me, coming from a single perspective, if the person I'm dating or courting makes me a better person, changes, because some people, they're like, well, I'm not going to change. But I think there's some things that I could change about myself. I could do better and, things of that nature. If that person that I'm dating brings out those qualities where I want to change for the better, whatever that looks like, I personally think that's a way to signify, like, yes, this is a person that I would love to be with for the rest of my life, or this is a person I would like to marry, because you've been here when I've lost this and I've gained this and I've gone through that and I've grew through this. Why would you want to, start over with somebody else? So I think for me, it's a matter of how much have I grown as we're talking or courting or dating. So that's my perspective.
That you have to, for men, we have to consider this as well. We're instructed by God to love our wives the way Christ loved the church, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And so we understand how the church misused, abused, mishandled, and to this day mishandles Christ, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Christ still sacrificially loves us and was willing to give his life for us. So if we're called to love our wives like Christ loved the church, and we have this young lady that we're looking at to become our wife, we have to say, am I willing to give up my life for this individual? Right. Am I willing to love her like Christ loved the church? On the flip, for the ladies who are watching, you're called to follow your husband as unto the Lord, or submit to your husband as unto the Lord. You have to make a determination, is this man that I'm considering a leader? Can I follow him? Can I follow his direction? Is he worthy of following? Is he following Christ first and foremost? Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you're able to answer those questions in the affirmative, then yes, you may have found the one. And which leads me to one of the other questions that was submitted to us. It was about a soulmate. Let's see, where is that question? Basically, the question was: is there just one person for you? Is there just one soulmate for you, or could there be options?
I personally, I don't think I used to believe or think that there was a soulmate or the one. But like for me, my interpretation of the scripture, he that finds a wife, not he that finds the one. You know, so
Okay.
it's a matter of a man making a decision of yes, she or I want to marry her, or yes, she's my wife, not yes, she's my soulmate. You know, I know we use those terms, but from a biblical standpoint, from my understanding, that word isn't even in the Bible.
Okay.
So I think what happens sometimes is we get a soul tie with the person, and it's like, no, you're the one. Like, I don't want to let you go, but it's all for the wrong reasons.
No,
so
your
now
demons
we
can't
have
come in.
this messed up mentality of, you know, I'll never find another, you know, and it's like, no, you just got to make the right decisions. And, you know, so I personally don't think that there's a soulmate. I believe you can make a conscious decision to spend the rest of your life with one person, though.
Anybody disagree, or somebody has a different take?
No, I just wanted to add to that. Definitely, where it says, "He who finds a wife finds a good thing," and it also says, "and obtains favor from the Lord." So you don't get favor from everybody.
Come on. Come on.
Oh,
Whoever you marry is the person who is ordained in your life, and that favor is going to come upon you and your wife.
My God.
So now we're talking, you know, is there another person, another soulmate? No. For me, no. There can be other people that may come into your life for a purpose, but they aren't for the reason of bringing you love, happiness, and favor. It's just not happening.
Yeah.
True. And I also kind of think, you know, whoever is the person at the end, whoever is that final person that you marry, I hope, even though there is such thing as divorce and finding someone else, but I hope that one last person is, and hopefully the soulmate. You know, that is the person you decided to finalize things with. It's not based off of time. It's based off of pure alignment, being evenly yoked, having a similar vision, and, you know, growing, like you said. So I agree as awesome.
Yeah.
All right. I lean more with Rashad, and I don't identify with the term soulmate, but the equally yoked part that Jamal mentioned, yes, I definitely align myself with that. So I think, you know, for the ladies who are watching, look at this. If you're using the word soulmate, that's fine. Using the word equally yoked, that's fine. Make sure your passions, your vision, your values are in alignment. Like, the values have to be in alignment. If you guys have a completely different set of values, you're going to have a lot of unique challenges as you go forward. Okay, you guys have to value the same things, and that's a completely different subject that will take some time as well. Here's a good one. How do you know if a guy is interested in you? Jamal, if you're interested in a young lady, what signs, or what do you do? How does she find that out?
I think by providing attention to wanting to actually hang out and do things in person. You know, let's go do things together. Something that's not extremely common, like, hey, let's go to the movies or dinner, but trying to actually show that I'm putting in a genuine effort to get to know you, and actually go do things with you, and not just keep it at a text-based relationship.
Okay, Rashad, what do you think?
I definitely agree with him. Also, bringing her around people that you hang out with. Because I personally have gone on dates or gone out with a girl who I really had no further intentions of wanting to be with. Saw her Instagram or social media, hung out once, and then sometimes we end up hanging out more than once, but it's because I'm bored, or it's something to, you know, come on now, we do this. You know, it's like, well, nobody else gonna hang out, so yeah, let me hit her up. You know what I mean? So, but if I'm bringing her, if I'm intentionally putting forth the effort and saying, hey, a couple of friends, you know, we're going on a double date, or, you know, some friends are going out. Do you want to come? Like bringing her around your circle, bringing her to, you know, inviting her to church, or you just bringing her around like the public where people know you and see her with you. Because you can take her anywhere, and that doesn't mean anything.
DeMarc and Cecil, I'm gonna let you jump in on this, but before we do that, I gotta go back to what Rashad said about the board part, because I'm sure there's some young ladies that probably took issue with that, like you calling them up because you're bored and wanting to hang out. Now, they actually may be interested in you. Okay, they actually might, I like this dude, and he just called me to kick it. That means he wants to spend time with me. And you might be thinking something completely different. You might be like, I'm bored.
Yeah.
Let's go grab something to eat and let that be that. But she's now caught feelings because you called her. Out of all the people you could have called,
right?
You call her. So how do you navigate that? Because as a man, we do have to protect the heart, or at least as a Christian man, we have to protect the heart of our Christian sisters, right? We don't want to like lead them on knowingly or even unknowingly. Like, so how do you navigate? Are you explicit, like saying, hey, listen, it's just to go eat, okay? That's all we're doing right now. We're going to eat. Or is it kind of, tell me about that, the board situation.
For me, like I have female friends. And so I would say things almost like how females put us in the friend zone, where they say stuff like, hey, bro. And so you already know, like, man, that's, yep, I can't even get at her like that. You know what I mean? Like,
bro is the death nail, boy.
Right.
Like, there's no way of getting out of that. But like, so I'll say things like, hey, do you want to hang out? And they'll say like, oh yeah, so what do you want to do? And it'll probably be basic. Let's go get something to eat. And then, like, to be honest, I'm a very honest person. So I'll say things along the lines of like, hey, just to let you know, or are you expecting me to pay for us? Or are you paying for yourself? Like, I'll put that out there so they know, like.
So you're clear, this ain't a date. This is us hanging out.
So there's a double standard there, though. There's a complete double standard. So if we friend zone a woman, then the reaction to it is completely different. Like, versus if a woman does it to a man. So if I do tell someone like, hey, this is never going anywhere, sometimes it feels like a woman will try to, he's not serious, and try to think they can still get me or something like that. Like, he's a guy.
He's playing hard to get.
He's playing hard to get. But what I'm really just being as genuine as possible. Right. So it definitely has that. And I agree with the terms about bringing up a payment. But even then, you know, sometimes even if, and you can, you know, think about this as well, but even if I still do pay, just because I asked you out, you feel me? Like, I asked you to come out with me. This is still a friendship thing. I don't mind paying. It's not a big deal. That double standard still exists.
Right. Yo, I think you just got to be careful too. Like the time of night you go out, times of day, times of night, because that plays a part. Like if you hit somebody up at 11:30 to go see a movie, you can. It's a little difficult to convince somebody that you're just a friend. You know what I mean?
True indeed. Yo, so I told you guys my wife was probably watching, and it turns out she is. You probably heard the little dings going off. She's texting me. She's basically saying that women do the same thing, like calling up the homie to go out, you know, and she has zero intention of anything, but the bro like, oh shoot,
I knew.
She called me, son. She called me. We about to go out tonight. She feeling your boy, and there's none of that. They might just want a free meal. And so she's aligning herself with her husband in my earlier rant about that Me Too joint. On
one accord.
Yes. So let me give DeMarc and Cecil an opportunity to answer the original question, which was what? How do you know a guy is interested in you? What do you do?
For me, I don't leave room for doubt. Because doubt sometimes leads to questions that may not directly come to you, if I'm making sense. You know, it may go to her friends, like, you know, he called me last night and, You know, we talked for 2.5 hours, and then I showed up to work the next day, and there was like 6 or 7 roses waiting on me, and then he took me out to dinner the next night. What do you think that means? No, this is exactly what it means.
Right.
It's exactly what it looks like. So for me, and for a majority of other men, I would say, we don't leave a whole lot of room for a bunch of questions. You know, it's just
when the dude is really feeling you, though, right?
Exactly. When he's really feeling
when the dude's feeling you, he's pretty straight up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
If he's Cecil, and you can chime in on this. If he's on the fence, not 100%, kind of like you, it may feel like that. It may feel like.
And I think that just kind of piggybacking on what Mark said, that when you're pursuing and you want to let them know, like, hey, I'm interested. I think one of the things that stick out is we're not going to make empty promises. Like, if we say, hey, I'm going to come to your show, for example, I'm going to come to this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. We're not going to drop the ball, especially if we're interested in you. So I think it goes by just being intentional, showing up, being supportive, asking inquisitive questions about them. What do they love to do? What do they like? Who they are, their tendencies, their personality. I will say this, the unhealthy way to do stuff, and I think we've all been there, as far as this thing, and people still do it, but I don't know what's this thing about this, like, being sarcastic, with females, that think that it's the way to go by making her laugh in that way, by making fun of something or making fun of some action or some whatever it is about the conversation that you guys had. Being petty is not the way to go. Being sarcastic sometimes in conversations may not be the route. And I will say hopping in the DMs is not the route. And I'm saying that because when I was younger, immature, that was me. I would definitely say that that's an unhealthy way to make sure that a woman, you like this woman, but for sure being intentional, and being supportive and not making empty promises.
Word up. Okay, quick commercial break for those who are tuning in with us. This is Male Tendencies, brought to you by the wonderful people at P4CM. We've got a wonderful panel of gentlemen here who are giving their insight, their wisdom into your questions tonight about male tendencies. Just also for those who don't know, Glow is popping off March 2nd. It is a wonderful spoken word music performance event. It will feature live questions from the wonderful, beautiful, my friend Yvonne Orji, who is also an actress and a comedian. She will be there answering your questions live. V-Rose will be performing, so it's a dope event. Make sure you get your tickets to that joint. And you can find out how to get tickets on the Facebook page for P4CM, Twitter, IG, all those good places. Okay. There was someone who posed a question for me, but I'm gonna allow you guys to answer it as well, but I'll answer it first. Would a guy let you go, meaning I guess her, would a guy let a woman go without trying to get her back in his life, even if he thinks you're the right woman? So apparently, okay, I think I know where she's going. Two people together, she breaks wide, I'm out, okay? She's saying, would this guy let her go, even if he thinks she's the right one? I'm gonna say yes, he would, because you left him, okay? Now,
right.
Okay, now here's the thing. Men, we have egos, we have pride, okay? And one sure way to tap into a man's pride is to say, I'm out, I don't need you, I'm done, okay? He will be like, fine then, deuces, I'm moving on. Now, if he thinks you are the right one, okay, he's like, she's the right one. Or if he gets this feeling like you didn't really mean that, you're just angry in the moment, there's the possibility that he could come back and try to win your heart again, okay? There's that possibility. However, there is a very big possibility that he will move on and try to soothe his pain with somebody else, okay? That's called the rebound. It's unfortunate. It happens, but that is a real possibility where he will just go to the, so, all right, you don't want me? There's plenty out there that do. Enjoy your life. Now, what do you guys think about that? You guys are still in the dating game. How do you feel?
I think it goes, for me personally, why the breakup or why the split? If it's something that I did that I can change, yeah, absolutely. You know, oh, you always spending money on shoes, which I love to do. So if that, you know, if that is a reason for a breakup, you know, whatever it may be, you know, if I can change whatever that reason is, then absolutely, I'll definitely make that effort to, you know, give it like a day or two. Because even when you try to like pursue immediately, she's still upset, and then, you know, it just gets bigger from that. But personally, if I can make the effort to change, I'll start to change. Like, hey, I started a separate savings account. I ain't bought shoes in a month, or I ain't bought shoes last paycheck. You know, see, I'm trying. Like, you know, what do I got? What can I do to get back, for us to get back? You know, if I'm making that effort, if I'm asking the right questions, not just, come on, girl, you know you love me, stop playing. Right. You know, that's not really showing anything other than I miss you. But if I'm willing to pursue change in an effort to get you back, yeah, that's how I take it.
Well, I'll piggyback on that a bit, because usually when a woman breaks up, she broke up like a month before that.
Right.
You know? So she's not really she's just finally telling you. So a woman scoring is tough. And when she's not, you know, when her mind is made up, usually she's made up. She has other vacation plans. Like, it's curtains. But I think, like you said, it is the intent for sure. If it's, you know, if she says, hey, I found some other guy, well, yeah, I'm not going after you at all. If it's something more trivial, like, hey, you spend too much money on sneakers, then yeah, we can make those changes and adapt. So it really varies, obviously, on the particular reason. But I think if she's left, then she has a reason, and she left 90 days ago.
I think especially if they run from relationship, or if they're not, because you do have women out there that are scared of commitment, and no matter how much you think they are beautiful and they are the right woman, if they decide, hey, I don't want to be with you, and that's just simply because of their fear of commitment is that strong. For me, I think it's one of those things where it's like, all right, well, if you're that fearful, then I can't change you. I can't change how you think. That's a God conversation. So I'll let you handle that. And you know, you go forth with your ministry.
So someone sent in a follow-up question. And I think we probably all know the answer to this. What if someone is unwilling to change? Like, right. Rashad gave the face I was thinking. That's the thought. I was like, well, bye. If someone, like, that means they can't, they just don't have it in the compromise. You know what I mean? And if you're talking about doing life with somebody and they don't know how to compromise, yeah, that's gonna be a problem.
You disregard my feelings.
Right.
Like,
exactly. Man. It's like, I am who I am. You gotta take me as I am. I'm not changing for nobody.
You're being selfish at that point.
Right.
So we kind of squashed that. So I don't know if this is the same person or if it's different people, but we got another follow-up that said, well, it's the guy. The guys are scared of commitment. That's why we leave.
Not true.
Absolutely not.
Not true.
Not all the time.
No.
Now that might have been a situation this person that you're talking about, or maybe people that you're referring to, they may not have wanted to commit to you. It may not be that they're scared of commitment in general. They might have had some signs like, yeah, I don't think I can do life right here, but they stayed in it anyway. You know what I'm saying? They stayed in a relationship even though they knew they should have got out. And so they're not able to give you the commitment that you're looking for because they know better. They don't want to. Okay? Mm-hmm. They don't want to give it to you. And it's not necessarily a knock against you. It's like this person doesn't want to commit to you, this person. That doesn't mean no one wants to commit to you. It just means this person did.
Right.
Some other person you bump into might be like, oh, you're the one. Let's do this. We courting and we're married now. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So
AD.
it you know, scared of commitment is a real thing. Being scared of commitment is a real thing. Some people stay single for the rest of their life because they're looking for flawless. They're looking for everything has to be in alignment. Everything has to be perfect, and they can't find that person, so they can't commit to anybody.
Yeah.
And they'll never find that person.
Yeah.
That person don't exist on the planet Earth.
Whatever.
So AD, I see a comment here.
Yeah.
For me to elaborate, because I said sometimes.
Wait, say again?
Oh,
So
yeah.
I see a comment here that's asking me to elaborate because I said sometimes, like men are scared of commitment.
Oh yeah, go ahead, man.
So I think what I meant by that is sometimes the timing isn't aligned. So if, currently I'm a lot more established than I was at 22, 23, 24. And at that time, being in a serious relationship, trying to be more than what I was difficult. And, women clocks are ticking at a different rate or different pace, and they want things more immediate, and it's a lot of pressure. So if I'm not making marriage money, and if I'm not doing these things that I would like to put myself in a position for us, then yeah, the commitment is going to be different for me. And it can kind of frighten and create pressure that makes us kind of step back. So I think it just depends on the communication, where you're actually at in life to say, yeah, I'm ready to actually look for something serious that I can like bring something to, instead of just, being in a ambiguous place.
Right. All right. So someone asked, why don't men fight for the relationship and tend to say, I don't feel like I'm good enough when it comes to the relationship ending? Is that an excuse or a true statement? How do you know the difference? Okay, this is my concern. Why are they having to fight for the relationship? Like, why is this dude now in this position that he has to fight for the relationship? Is this a game? Like, do you want him to you keep telling him, no, I'm not feeling you. No, I'm not into you. And you want him to chase after you? Because if that's what you're looking for, it's not going to happen. Dude's gonna be like, I'm tired of this.
Chasing.
Yeah, I'm done. If I chase you, catch you, we dating, and why am I fighting for the relationship?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Why is that? Why do you want that?
It's
Or
too
why
much.
are we not fighting together?
I mean, yeah, if we have problems in a relationship, then yes, we fight together to make those problems non-problems, in the future. But if we're both in a relationship and you're constantly seeking affirmation, like not affirmation like you're beautiful or I love you, stuff like that. No, affirmation like, are you going to be here today? Are you leaving me right now? Why are we doing that?
I mean, a lot of times those signs are in the beginning of a relationship.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's evident, but people ignore, you can call them red flags, whatever you want to call it. To me, you can't force a brick through a Coke bottle. It's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
When that relationship is established from the beginning, there are some things that you see that many people see that tend to ignore. You're like, oh, well, I can ignore that. No, that's probably a big thing that you should pay attention to, which leads to the likes of this question. Right. Why are you constantly fighting? Because this could ultimately be something that you ignored in the beginning.
Right. Now, the follow-up, the second part of the question makes me think that there's more to it. She says, why don't men fight for the relationship and tend to say, I don't feel like I'm good enough when it comes to relationship ending? So this guy it's not like two things are happening here. Either the dude is trying to get out the relationship, okay? He's trying to be ghost, and his reason for being ghost is I don't think I'm good enough for you. Okay.
Because I think if the woman makes that man jump through hoops and run around a track 4 times and does all this stuff and it's still not good enough, then of course we're gonna say, dang, I must be not good enough, because evidently what I'm doing is not appeasing to you. It's not even making you happy and so forth and so forth. So yeah, we're probably gonna feel like I'm not good enough, so let me just shrug up the deuces and leave. And then they expect us to do it all over again.
It could be that.
Yeah.
Or it could also be the dude wants to get out without hurting feelings. Okay. He may want to get out the relationship without causing too much damage. And so he says, basically, it's not you, it's me. You know what I mean? That's the classic line. It's I'm not good enough for you. you're worthy of a much greater man than me, you know. And so he doesn't know necessarily how to say, I don't want to be with you, or we need to end this relationship because it's not going toward the altar. I don't ever see it getting there, because that's too painful. Like that's just too way too harsh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And no one wants to be that harsh in a relationship. So men, our tendency is to be nice, at least try to, when we're doing a breakup. Unless you've been a horrible girlfriend. If you've been a horrible girlfriend, we will just, you don't want to see that. Okay. But if you've been like halfway decent, like you've been good, but he's just ready to move on, he might say some stuff like that. Just take it. Just be like, okay, bye, dude. Bye. Don't try to say, why are you not fighting for the relationship? You are good enough. You are good. You are a good man. That's not what you're trying to go.
At all.
Let that dude go, because he's trying to tell you, I'm trying to get out of here. I'm trying to go.
Run.
I saw a question about introverts.
Go ahead, jump on it.
I couldn't see all of it.
Oh, I'll read it to you.
Okay.
I'm a bit of an introvert, and I had many women tell me in the past that my introverted tendencies may make guys less inclined to approach me. Can I get you guys' opinion on this, please? Any introverts on the convo here?
Not me.
No. Well, yeah, not I.
Well, then I'll jump in, because I'm very much so an introvert. Very much so.
Yeah.
You have. So yes, it could. Some dudes will be like, nah, she's too kind of quiet. She's into herself. She's not approachable, because I get that quite a bit about myself, even though nobody should be approaching me. I'm told that it's very difficult to approach me. I have a demeanor sometimes that says stay away. Comes in handy when I'm riding the train. Nobody sits next to me, which I love. But for relationship purposes, it can be somewhat of a challenge. Introverts are not necessarily, though, like wallflowers all the time either. Introverts can have personality. They can be very entertaining, very energetic, but at a certain point, they need isolation. And if someone's trying to meet you at that point where you need isolation, it's not going to be good. They're gonna be like, she's very standoffish, or whatever it is. So my advice to the introvert is, you have to plan this stuff out. Like, if you're going to be involved in social events where there's the possibility of someone engaging you, or someone saying, hey, you're attractive, can I get to know you a little bit more? You have to have built up your social bank. Like, you got to have spent some time alone, to where now you feel you got enough energy to be out there and engage in conversation. Because that's the way you're going to get to know somebody. It's not going to be by, being alone. They got to be able to talk to you.
Right.
So, yeah, that's my advice to you, lady introvert.
Question. I mean, and as you're talking, I was kind of getting maybe an idea for whoever the person is, or maybe others. Like, what about like when you go out, like bring a friend that you're comfortable with you to maybe the event or to wherever, just so it's like it lightens the mood for that person, or they're more comfortable and they don't feel like, so closed in or kind of shut down. Because I've approached, someone like that, and they had a friend with them, and then they said, oh my gosh, I normally don't act like this, but and I'm like, what are you talking about? And then later finding out that they're introverts. So it's like, oh, okay. So this person was kind of like their wingman in a way, to where they were comfortable, being out and comfortable with somebody approaching them, because they had that best friend or whatever with them.
Word. Hey, have you guys been dumped before?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everybody, pretty much, all of us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, how does it play itself out when the person that dumped you rolls back up like, yo? So I was a little, younger, and I was a little off back then. I was wondering if, maybe me and you can,
Got to be more careful.
That's that hey stranger.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, big head.
You're doing that text.
Yeah. Hey, mister.
Right.
That's dangerous. That's
Okay,
right.
why you say it's dangerous, Cecil?
Because I think that when you have a woman that pops back up like that, then you got to be careful as far as, okay, what have you been doing that has all of a sudden got this woman's interest? And not most of the time, I will not say that, but I will say sometimes because you've been on a roll with stuff, or you've been successful at your job, or, maybe you get a little more money or stuff like that, they get attracted to, oh, he must be doing great. So you got to be careful that, women, when they pop back up, are they attracted to because of what they see?
Yeah.
Or they just internally got this inkling like, hold on, I need to go back because maybe I need to do something different, or maybe God told me something different. So you got to just really be careful. Maybe you're just on a winning streak, for about a good month, your bills is paid on time, and, you got a fly little haircut and here and there and whatever. Maybe they're just attracted to that. So you just be careful of that trap.
I think they're attracted to what they miss.
Yeah.
And I say that because my ex, and we still talk, but she tells me about how much she misses, how I genuinely loved her. And I would, just reach out to her, take care of her as much as I could, just be there. Right. And she misses that. And she had relationships after me. And, unfortunately, they didn't work out. But she told me flat out, you treated me very well, and I took advantage of that. And I was young and dumb, and, she gave me all that. Completely understood. But, that time is come and gone now. There's right. No room for the comeback.
No, I agree. I think, like I said earlier, it's timing. So, if your path is taking you one way and her path is taking her a different way, and she maybe needs to make that, and not in your case, but just in general to the question, right. She, breaks off and, work or something takes her in a specific direction. Now she wants to come back. Why is she coming back? I think that's obviously a great question. Looking at if it's because of something that's superficial or if it's something that's genuine. And being able to identify that as early on as possible, I think is key. And then, being an adult and making a decision if you want to continue to pursue it, if you have hurt feelings, if you're going to treat her differently. Sometimes, from when the role is reversed, if I try to go back to someone else, they may treat me like crap because of how it may have ended initially. So maybe the genuineness is missed, but it's always a slippery slope for sure.
Yeah.
So check this out, y'all. We're getting blown up with the questions, and we're going to try to get to as many of them as possible. But we do have to be mindful of people's time on the West Coast and the East Coast who are tuned in with us right now. But we're going to try to hit up a few more of these questions. When your girl, your wife, well, in my case, my wife, but when your girl hits you up with the we need to talk, what's your first thought?
About what?
See, Rashad hit it. Everybody get it, okay?
No words.
The person that asked this question, she's confused. She's asking for help. Like, why is it
filter that question in itself?
Right. Why is this dude really tripping every time she hits him up with the we need to talk? You know why, ladies? When y'all hit us up with the we need to talk, it's never good.
Yeah.
Ever. We need to talk means there's a problem. And guess what? Brothers don't feel like dealing with problems. Okay? We don't want to deal with the problems. But we know we're in a relationship, so we got to address the problem, right? Something that's pressing on you, something ain't right, that needs correction, usually something I did, okay? And therefore, we have to address that thing. Okay, that's
we'll go through the whole roll call, like, okay, what did I do? What did I do at 3 o'clock?
Correct.
What's going on? Did I do this? Okay, good. Maybe I didn't do this. Maybe I didn't take out the chicken out the freezer. Like, we go through a lot.
If the nature of the relationship is you come to him with some problem, he's going to have that anxiety reaction. That's just going to be what it is. If we need to talk. It's something, babe, we need to talk. You're an awesome man. You've really done a great job doing X, Y, Z. Look at you promoting on that job. I just wanted to give you some kudos. If that's what we need to talk normally means, we'd love to hear that. Right. But if we need to talk means, hey, I saw you and you were kind of looking at this other girl a little too long, and I'm wondering if you really still attracted to me. Oh my goodness! What? that's why the dude is anxious about that question. It's usually tied to some level of negativity. This is a question more so for Cecil because he's the one that really said it. Someone said before, you can't slide into DM. What other way would a guy try to talk if DMs are off limits?
I think it's when it comes to DMs, I think it's the way you appropriate yourself in the DMs. And that doesn't mean you go and start playing Russian roulette, start DMing everybody in your story. But if there's somebody that you really seriously have an interest, it's okay to compliment on certain things or to inquire or to ask questions about certain things that she posts on her story, but never go in her DMs and just blow her up or, you know, always put the fire emoji and put the eyes emoji. Like they honestly get irritated by the eye emoji just because it's like, what does that mean? For them, it's like, I don't know what that means. So are you looking at me? Do you want to talk to me? What does that do? So appropriating yourself in the DMs, there is such a way, but when you get overboard, when you lack communication, when you lack intelligence in the DMs, then that's where you lost the ball game right there.
Right. What about old-fashioned just going up to them in person?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, when I grew up, like I'm old now, but when I grew up, it was a thing to go out and get a girl's number. You know, we took pride in that. Like, yo, how many numbers did you get? You know, so I think just taking it back to that is healthy, and much more genuine than just like a DM where you can kind of hide behind a profile.
Maybe not how many anymore. Like maybe I get what you're saying, Jamal. We don't want to go back to how many.
No. I'm a joke. That was a joke.
No, I knew what you meant, bro. I was messing with you.
I think it's like, and I agree with you. I think because of how social media works now, it's so easy to get access to anything and anybody. So if you call interest for somebody that you have never met, which that has happened to, I'm sure, plenty of guys, but you somehow have to make that communication, have to make that conversation point. So there is a way to do that, but I agree with you. Like, you know, going back to old fashioned, hey, meeting that person in person and saying, hey, can we go out for coffee? Can we do this? Can we do that? That's also the more stronger suit too.
All right, so check it, y'all. It's 3 minutes after the hour of 8 p.m. on the West Coast. We're going to take 2 more questions, and then we're going to wrap this up. If it's dope, if y'all like this, we may do this again. You know, we get a lot of views here. You know, we may pull this again, answer some more of your questions. Okay, so 3 questions. We had another one slide in. That's below the radar. We're gonna have 3 more questions. So let's not be too long-winded on these and see if we can get these answered pretty succinctly. First question is, what do you guys think of best friends of the opposite sex in a relationship? They're best friends of the opposite sex in a relationship. I'll chime in on this. I think it's dope.
Yeah.
Like if you're already best friends and there's a physical attraction there as well, yeah, y'all gonna probably do really, really well.
Yeah.
You're able to be like in close quarters and friends and still get along. Like, you know what I mean? Like you want your wife and your husband to be your friend. Like that's important. That's important. It's like you don't want to just be acquaintances with your spouse, you know?
Right.
It's cool. Then we
gotta like the person.
Yeah, you gotta like them. So if you guys are already best friends, I think that makes for a good marriage, good relationship. Yeah. But anybody think differently on that?
No, but I think that pop-up just came up and said, what if your spouse has a best friend that's a male?
Then that's what I thought. Best friend too?
We have a best friend.
We have a best friend.
Right.
Yeah. She don't have no best friends that ain't mine.
Right.
That's dudes. You know, like you can have girlfriends all day long. I don't even have to know them. Like, but the dudes, we all kicking it.
We know our life.
Where we going today?
Well said. Well put.
I want to send my guy flowers for Valentine's Day.
Do it.
My brother told me not to because it'll emasculate him. My brother-in-law said to do it. What should I do? Okay. So Yeah. Flowers don't emasculate a dude. Like,
No.
Nah,
you can send a dude flowers. He'll be like, hey,
I
you see these
appreciate that.
flowers over here?
It's thoughtful. It's thoughtful.
Look at you sending the dude flowers. Okay, I see.
Right. Send them.
You know, send the flowers. And
Absolutely.
especially if you put a note in there that says something special, you know, unique to him that he will enjoy hearing from you.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's all good, you know.
Viciously.
How many of you guys ever got flowers?
I have.
I have.
No, I haven't. That's what I was gonna say. It might be a generational thing too. So like, if the dude is my generation or older, I'm in my 40s. If he's in my generation or older, he may be one of those dudes that says, "How dare you? You send me flowers? What do I look like?" You know. But if he's you know, younger than that, in his 30s or whatever, he's probably like, "Hey, look at that, okay." So he'll probably appreciate it. Go ahead and do it. And if he responds like a jerk, then that tells you something about him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you send this dude flowers, you're doing a nice gesture, and he responds like a fool. Okay, I learned something today. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So the last question, we hit up 2 that quick. All right, dope. Last question was sent in earlier today, and I think it's a pretty good question. I'll be interested to hear you guys' responses. Why are guys more assertive in the club versus in the church?
Because the club has drinks, the church has communion, and there's things I mean, I'll just be so here's the thing.
So you blaming it on the alcohol?
Right. But see, this is the way I see it. In the minds of many who go to church, they think, I came here to worship. I came here to get a word, and I came to get all that and leave. And they may think that it's taboo to go outside of that to say, wow, this woman over here is beautiful. I want to ask her out, but I don't know if this is the right place to do it. A club?
Right.
That's what it's there for.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what it's there for. Right. So that's my short answer to that.
So DeMarc says it makes feel like this may be inappropriate to kind of hit on you or to hit you up at church. Like, what's that, girl?
I think it's just another level of accountability that's there when you're in the church. Like, I don't see anything wrong with being attracted to somebody in church and wanting to talk to them. But oftentimes I feel like we as men, we don't do it as much just because when we do it, then there's going to be a follow-up. There's going to be a question. There's going to be some sort of, I won't say investigation, but there's some close people or even your leaders going to be like, hey, you know, I saw you talking to so-and-so, what's up with that? And oftentimes we don't like answering questions in that moment. We don't like the pressure of trying to answer to somebody off of what we want to do. Now in the club, ain't nobody really caring. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, hey, you know, I'm gonna talk to you. If it goes bad, oh well, I don't gotta see you anyway. I'm move on.
Right.
But if you like me and I like you, let's keep it pushing. I'm gonna tell my homeboys about it, and that's what's gonna be. But there ain't gonna be no questions, ain't no follow up, ain't no, you know, who is that? Who cares who it is? I'm talking to it. So it's just different.
So church gossip is different.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I got a take on this question. Couple of things. One, why are we in the club? Like, why are we up in there concerned about why this dude is hitting on me and the dude in the church is not? Secondly, the dude in the club probably, I'm not gonna say 100%, but there's a better chance that he ain't got nothing to do with the church anyway. So his standards and morals are gonna be slightly different, you know. Now, don't get me wrong, church brothers be up in the club, okay? They be up in there.
Bottle full of bub.
Drinking on the goose.
But even then, the church brother that's in the club, his morals and standards are probably different, because if his standards were like at this level, he might be like, yo, I ain't trying to be up in the club looking for no wife. That's not where she at anyway. Okay.
I hope not.
So the brother that's at church might be calling himself respecting you. you know,
Yeah.
by not pushing up all extra hard when you came to praise and worship the Lord, you know. He might be saying, you know what? Like, I think it was, who said it? Cecil? I think you said it, like, or maybe DeMarc. The intention, the reason we're here is different than the reason we're at the club. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, we may spark up a conversation that says to both of us, like, yo, this might be something else. But my intention, when I spot you, I'm not saying, oh, I'm about to go, you know, about to go holler. When we walk around for the offering, I'm gonna stop at her seat real quick. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's not what we're here for.
Right.
But that doesn't mean it can't happen. So the question is, why is the dude more aggressive in the club as opposed to in the church? What the whole situation is set up for lends itself to that aggression in the club, and it doesn't lend itself to that in the church.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
But why are we in the club? That's what I want to know. Why are we in the club?
It's definitely the environment.
Environment is everything.
Yeah, man. Anyway, y'all, it's been dope. I had a good time, y'all. Had a good time. Enjoyed it.
I did.
Yes.
Hopefully, we'll do this again, ladies who are watching, and fellas, if you're watching and you're like, these dudes talking crazy. None of that. We love to hear your comments on that. So feel free to drop one in the comment section. Also, lastly, Glow, but you didn't hear it. You tuned in late. You showed up at the middle, at the end of this conversation. Glow, an event brought to you by P4CM. We'll be popping on March 2nd in the city of Artesia. Make sure you hit up all of our social media to get more info about that event. Spoken word, music, Yvonne Orgy, V-Rose will be in the building, hosted by Ellie Andrews, very popular DJ out here in the LA area. She'll be hosting the event, and we hope to see you guys at that event. It is for the ladies. The whole event is about y'all. Girl, lady, or woman. So make sure you support it and come on out. Other than that, y'all have a good night, gentlemen. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. And hope you.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
Sir.
Problem.